this game or not. As Nongshim RedForce, they have a variety of damage dealers. They have a variety of initiation ways. Nongshim RedForce just has a lot more options out there, and Boom Esports just seems to me a little bit simplistic.
It does seem a little bit simplistic, right? Obviously, they're going for what works. I mean, there was once a time where I would jump for pure glee that a monkey was getting selected, right? But now it's kind of just like there's so much more you could have gone for here. Now, I'm at the same sentiment as you here, Isaac. It's kind of like I'm sat here trying to make sense of it, other than kind of just making 1 + 1 = 2, in terms of like having a strong front line here and just allowing Chicha to try and get that burst potential. But yeah, the constant damage is not going to be there. I mean, in terms of the healing takeaway here from Monkey, obviously going for the Burning Cape is definitely going to be one of the itemizations we're going to be seeing here for him, just to kind of have a little bit more of a impact into the team fights. But yeah, it's going to be, if Nongshim find the right targets and take down Chicha and take down, I mean, just take down Chicha, where's the damage going to come from?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's my point. My point right now is, if you jump in, like the target to jump in is very direct. Just go into Danny and then just jump into him and then just force everyone to try to defend him. As they're trying to defend Danny, there's so many flanking options that they can come in from Nongshim RedForce. I am really looking forward to this game. Hopefully Boom Esports can show me something that I have not seen in the past, because I love being surprised. Nongshim RedForce is gonna be on the blue, Boom Esports is gonna be on the red. Let's jump into it.
Let's absolutely jump into it. Like you said, I mean, I think the only giveaway you can really have is obviously if you can have the sustained damage from the Chicha, but it's being propped up by the Huon and the Diadema, maybe, obviously, in terms of obviously trying to out-sustain the enemy team. Could be the potential here for them, because if you look over to the side of Nongshim, their real tank is going to be obviously Namu here onto the Beast. But access into the backline is huge on the side of Nongshim RedForce. You have obviously Haku on the Masashi. You have Rattel on Charlotte. Like, there's no problem for them.
No problem for them. Look at this. It's going to be Rattel just taking a 2v1 in here. Just taking in some damage. And sadly for him, the resources are going to go for Boom Esports. I agree with you in terms of all that, man. I do believe that the problem in here is going to be Boom Esports. Can they out-sustain all of the damage coming in from Nongshim? And for them to be able to out-sustain, they need to have a big fight. In the small fights, I don't know if they will be able to do that.
Yeah, I don't think like a Boom can actually survive small skirmishes, right? They have to play as a unit. Like, if they go for small skirmishes, I mean, yes, obviously Miggy on the Byron can be quite sustainable, but there seems to always be a buddying system going on, right? Obviously top side of the map you've got Tatsuri and Miggy, but then you always kind of see plot side of the map is like Draw's not going to be too far away from Danny here. They're trying to steal away the Spike-tailed Beast, able to get that onto the side of Boom Esports. So they have been able to actually maintain that distance in terms of the gold lead, but this happened in game number 1, so I'm not putting this out as a feeler for a victory call.
I can see a little bit of a copy from their previous game into what it is happening right now. Again, very meticulous opening of the game. We don't see early invades. I can see a lot of Nongshim RedForce just being more into the rotations and trying to end this laning stage early on. Look at that. Nongshim, they have eyes on the Azure Golem. They might want to come in and try to take that away.
Ooh. I mean, a monkey without an Azure Golem, it's like you've got to... you want that low cooldown, right? Like, that's the whole point of Monkey's kit, is spamming these skills, getting that big old beefy shield up, makes him better into the team fights, but without the Azure Golem, it's a little bit harder to attain that, and that's coming from somebody who made Monkey a few seasons ago. But now, obviously, my point is that I want to kind of explore here, and I was talking to Sagi about it earlier, is like, will we start to see that kind of like tankier build on Siri on the lung here? So, obviously, they are lacking tanks. Going for a little bit more of a tanky support here onto the Siri could mean that he can play a little bit more aggressive into the backline again.
Well, at the end of the day, the Loom right now is in in these last months that we've been seeing a lot of very different variations of how the itemization can be done. I would love to see something a little bit more of damage. I do not believe that in this moment, against this specific composition of Boom Esports, something a little bit tankier would be beneficial for them. They just need to deal damage quick. That is what Nonchim RedForce needs to be doing right now.
True, that could be definitely one of the causes here, and obviously time will tell for us here, Isaac, but we are going to get into the neutral objectives point here. Obviously looking like it's going to be a sure job for Boom Esports. Getting the first Tyrant once again, so back-to-back first Tyrants. So Bright Olympus catches onto 2 here, but no real follow-up here for Illusion. Illusion just kind of lobbing away those flowing size here. But I have to give over, like, the thing that always surprises me is that the amount of damage and impact that Zhang Fei, once he's into the beast mode, that Stampede does, it's crazy.
Oh no, I love that, and I remember that a couple patches before it was not that high, but look at that series, gonna have to proc his ulti to get out of there alive.
Yes, I would use that Infinite Bastis, but still has the flash, so he has that kind of get out of jail card there. But speaking of burning flashes, Rattel had to get out of that one. Maybe not needing to have to, but he just kind of really wanted to make sure that that minion wave wasn't going to be get taken down for Rattel, but then get taken down the minion wave into that T1. Because that's going to be monstrous here for the side of Nongshim, as they've kind of set up already that privilege and point of that T1 down to the bot side of the map.
Now, the question here that I have is, what is Nonchim RedForce gonna do when the Azure Golem is going to respawn for Boom Esports? That 3v1 against Danny. Nothing he could have done in there. Nonchim RedForce is going to take his life and is going to be taking first blood at the same time, Lam.
I mean, normally I frown at an Unbridled Outburst being used on one hero, but that seemed personal to me, man. They pick up a cheater, but then obviously, as you look at the finer details, that T1 was literally teetering on the life or death situation, right? So not only getting the kill onto Danny, so slowing down his farm, slowing down the accumulation of gold, you get the T1 in the process as well. So it's a beautifully used ultimate there.
And that's just trouble for Boom Esports, right? Like we know, we've already been underlining a lot, like the importance of how that Church is gonna be, how important it's gonna be in the middle and the mid and late game. And then just taking him down right now is gonna slow things down a lot. Look at that, Lamb.
Oh, yes, the Duel to the Death. The Imperiled State is definitely going to put a bit of a hair on the tail of Tatsuri there. He's trying to get out. Keeps himself alive there because there just was no extra follow-up. There was no way for any other member on the side of Nongshim RedForce to get in and try and capitalize on the takedown of Tatsuri. So Boom Esports is still up with every 5 members, but they are going to look out and make sure they're tending the farm top side of the map here, because that T1 into the flash lane is looking like it's going to be that next calling card here for Nongshim.
They might not have lost any members, but the problem is that Crimson Golem is gonna go to Namu. Namu took control of the Crimson Golem, and that's gonna be one more resource taken away from Carl.
Yeah, that's one resource you can't afford to, right? Obviously, already you see Carl is behind by around about 300 gold compared to Haku here, which is already a bit of a problem, especially when you lost an Azure Golem pretty early on as well, and didn't actually maintain or even take away the enemy's Azure Golem. So you can start to see that the problems are starting to amount here for Boom Esports.
Rattel's Frostcar's Embrace and Pure Sky already online. That Charlotte can start making moves at this moment. 8 minutes of the game. Charlotte right now with a little bit more damage is going to be able to be more of a threat for Boom right now than it was a minute ago.
Oh, absolutely. Again, just going 1 for 1, toe for toe here. Haku is 2 levels ahead of Miji, so you can see why Dream Roam being committed here onto the back line of Nongshim RedForce, but it's going to be actually the rotation top side of the map. Off-screen kill here for the side of Nongshim, making sure work of Miji.
We actually thought that Miji was going to be able to run away, right? Like he was like, okay, actually the Baron could actually hold his ground. But it was 2 more members of Nonchim RedForce just waiting in the brush to kind of gank on him.
Yeah, just waiting for their prime opportunity, right? Like, they were knowing that he's still on the run. Illusion pretty much moves pretty fast when he's out of combat on this one as well with the Lady Jen here. but it's just all starting to slowly but surely slip away here from Boom Esports. They need to make sure they are doing everything they can to hold on to every little bit of resources they can try and claim here back for themselves.
The CD key that you can see over there on your screen is ready for you to go and log in onto the game and to input. Gleaming over there with a 3 instead of an E, and Ray of Light over K. Ray of Light is going to be our second CD key for today. Thank you very much, everyone, for your support on our KIS4. So we're really hoping that you can use those CD keys, get online, and get some of the freebies.
Yeah, a little bit of XP for your honor pass there, maybe potentially be the last little bit you need for one of those skins that you get if you buy the honor pass as well. But speaking of buy-in, it's going to be Nongshim racking up that itemization, right? They have steadily accumulated around about a 3k gold lead. And last time we saw, Siri was building the Eternity Blade, he built the Daybreaker as well, so going for quite an expensive build. Very crit-centric build here for the side of Nongshim RedForce, and he hasn't been caught out once, and that's really paying dividends here down to the bot side of the map, especially that 1v1 gold difference between himself and Danny.
1,500 advantage lead right now that Siri has on top of the Trucha, right? And that is going to be bad news for them. Look at right now, it is going to be Rattel jumping into 4 members.
This is what I love Rattel on Charlotte, man. Like, he just dives in, completely outnumbered, but now the Unbridled Outburst catching on to 4-3 here. It's not going to save up. It's going to be that Dream Roam as well as the Unending Sorrow, but the damage coming through here for Nongshim RedForce is laying it on thick, but still Rattel falls down after sustaining himself for so long, but there's Stampede that slows down Midgie. Can they get the kill here? They're looking for more. Haku doesn't want to fall, but Tatsuri, he falls.
Oh, Siri right over there proccing his ulti. I don't think that it was completely necessary. Namu knew that he needed some shield, jumped in, but the communication was a little bit lacking. But well, what was not lacking was the damage, because it was an amazing trade for Nongshim RedForce, making it all the way into the high ground.
Yeah, exactly. He was literally, he had a mission in mind. He was unstoppable in that one. But I mean, they were able to get obviously a few kills there. So 2 kills for the side of Nongshim RedForce, just furthering and splintering that difference of the gold right now. Maybe they could potentially try and play around the Shadow Overlord. I mean, if Nongshim tried to bait it, they do have the Primal Bond. It is prime time for Boom Carl to try and steal it. Use that Dream Roam, get the smite, get the heck out of there. But they're not looking confident enough, right? They don't have the privilege in top side of the map where the Overlord is situated.
I think that the issue in here is the fact that they don't think that they could even win that fight in that place at the moment. With 30 more seconds of the buff coming in for Nongshim RedForce, Boom Esports jumping in and losing that fight would be game over for them.
Oh yeah, yeah. It definitely would be the nail in the coffin, right? But I feel like still here, Nongshim RedForce, they still have a little bit of way to go. I feel like if once they get the T2s down, then if they were to take a fight around that neutral objective, then I feel like that would be the ultimate scenario there for them. But they do have the privilege of having those T2s still alive in every lane, but it looks like Rattel's looking to try and take one of those away.
It is just so much gold being funneled right now into Siri. And it's 9,000 gold that Siri has right now. I'm telling you, his damage is going to be fully online with one more item. One more item, and it's going to be time for Nongshim to really use Siri to finish the game.
Oh, absolutely. Those Flaming Palms definitely going to do the Lord's work here for the side of Nongshim RedForce. Really cook the side of Boom Esports. And I feel like it's because Siri's really never really been contested, right? Obviously, we saw once that Boom Esports was able to force out the Infinite Vastness, but not actually get the kill, which is a problem there.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's an issue. The problem is that they need to force him out very early into the fight, but they don't have the damage. Look at this, Blam.
They don't have the damage, and Rattel does have the sustainability, but the damage has come through there this time around for Boom Esports. They do get the pick off of Haku as well as Namud, and down goes Rattel. Double kill for Danny. This is where the damage is going to come from, but all that being said and done, the Vanguards have done irreparable damage down to that far side of the map there for Boom Esports.
They come into the fight, and boom, Esports, they can sustain. Lovely here from Tatsuri, just using his ulti just to suck in so much damage, allowing Danny to find the right angles. Danny with the right angles is going to be a very big threat for non-Shin RedForce, which I believe it might be the only big threat in here in this match.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely the only threat so far for them onto the side of Boom Esports, but to be honest, I mean, the Chicha here is definitely flying under the radar, getting towards that kind of like full itemization here as well. So I feel like survivability, as long as the positioning into team fights is there, I feel like Danny's going to be fine.
Yeah, I think that the problem here is the initiation onto the wrong people, right? Look at how the Tricha is just dealing so much damage. Danny just can find a very beautiful angle just to be just poking again and again and again and again and just dealing damage.
Keeps dealing the damage here, and that's going to be the problem if Nongshim's not going to be able to contest it, but they are definitely holding onto the backline and defending it like heck here onto the side of Boom Esports. And I feel like that's kind of the dividends here of not only the Byron, but also the sustainability from the U1 as well as the Diadea, and there goes down Rattel once again. Boom Esports really picking apart this Charlotte play here for the side of Nongshim RedForce. And now Boom are back in the stride, baby. They take the T2 into the mid lane. They're looking for more. This could be the potential push here, and a good defense is needed by Nongshim.
I'm telling you, when you're playing to sustain, the later that the game goes, the better that it is for you. The more items that you have, if you have a composition like this from Boom Esports, then that's going to be good news. But look at that, one more time they initiate the fight.
They do initiate the fight. They almost got the takedown onto draw there. Obviously, Destructive Deluge being placed down as well. They're trying to just lock them down into this circle, but now the Dream Roam comes through as well with the idea, but that's going to be a bit of a lost cause. That hard link saved Nongshim RedForce in this team fight, but there's still Danny getting that triple kill is huge. So still there is that trade of potential here from Boom, but now Rattel's into the mix. Down gets taken. Siri, the quadra kill coming through here.
Can we do a penta?
Are we gonna get it?
Penta kill! Oh, Danny comes in and takes a pentakill. It's gonna be our second pentakill of the KIS4, and it's gonna go to Danny on that Tricha. When everyone thought that they did not have the composition, Danny said, "I am gonna carry the team, baby." Crystal goes off, and it's gonna be Boom Esports that they're gonna make it.